Most people are raised to believe that power belongs to the good, the honest, the educated, the hardworking, or the most sincere. They believe that if they do the right thing, speak the truth, stay disciplined, and treat people correctly, life will eventually reward them. But history does not always work that way. History shows us a much harder truth. Power often belongs to those who understand what others ignore. It belongs to those who can read the room before speaking, observe the game before entering it, wait before reacting, protect their information before exposing their plans, and choose their alliances before trusting too quickly. Power is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent. It hides in timing, in strategy, in self-control, in information, in influence, and in the ability to understand human behavior before others do. And above all, power belongs to those who never confuse kindness with naivety. Welcome to CELFA, the channel of leadership, strategy, growth mindset, and personal development. Today, we are going to explore the dark rules of power. But let us be clear from the beginning, this is not about becoming manipulative, cruel, cynical, or dangerous. It is about becoming lucid. Because in life, in business, in politics, in leadership, and even in personal relationships, those who do not understand the hidden rules of influence often become instruments in the hands of those who do. Understanding the dark rules of power does not mean learning how to dominate people. It means learning how to stop being dominated by confusion, emotional reactions, false loyalty, empty promises, and invisible games. This video is not here to make you colder. It is here to make you wiser. The first rule is simple. Power begins with reading the terrain. Before taking action, a true strategist observes. He does not immediately throw himself into the battle. He looks at who is strong, who is weak, who is afraid, who has an interest in lying, who is looking for an alliance, who is preparing a betrayal, who talks too much, who stays too silent, and who truly controls the situation. In politics, in business, in organizations, or even in human relationships, the person who does not understand the terrain can easily become a pawn in someone else's game. Napoleon Bonaparte understood this logic. His power did not come only from his armies. It also came from his ability to read the terrain, understand speed, timing, and the psychology of the opponent. He knew that a stronger army could lose if it was badly positioned, poorly informed, or surprised at the wrong moment. This lesson is still valid today. In a meeting, in a negotiation, in a company, or in a personal project, the person who acts without observing risks fighting in the wrong place, against the wrong person, at the wrong time. Before you speak, observe. Before you decide, understand. Before you attack, read the terrain. The second rule is this: the one who controls information often controls the situation. Information is a silent form of power. The person who knows before others has a head start. The person who listens better, observes details, understands hidden intentions, knows the customer's needs, the competitor's weaknesses, or a partner's ambitions, can make decisions with more precision. In business, information helps you negotiate better. In politics, it helps you anticipate. In human relationships, it helps you avoid traps. But there is also the other side of this rule. Not everyone needs to know your plans. Not everyone needs to know your pain. Not everyone needs to know your weaknesses, your ambitions, or your next decisions. Many people fail because they speak too early. They announce their plans before protecting them. They expose their dreams to people who have neither the ability to understand them nor the intention to support them. A strategic leader does not hide everything out of fear. He protects what still needs to mature. He understands that certain information must be shared at the right time, with the right people, for the right reasons. The third rule is perhaps the most difficult. Self-control is a strategic weapon. Weak leaders react to every provocation. They justify themselves immediately. They get angry quickly. They expose their emotions. They allow others to press on their wounds in order to control them. But great leaders know that every reaction has a cost. Sometimes, remaining silent is more powerful than responding. Sometimes, waiting is smarter than striking. Sometimes, not showing your anger allows you to keep the advantage. Nelson Mandela is a profound example of this. After years in prison, he could have built his power on revenge. Many people would have understood that anger. But Mandela understood that South Africa could fall into civil war if pain became the only political compass. He transformed his suffering into self-control. Then he transformed that self-control into national strategy. He understood that a leader must not allow his pain to decide for him. He must use his pain to build a greater vision. In your own life, this rule is essential. One impulsive reaction can destroy years of credibility. One word spoken in anger can close an important door. One decision made under emotion can make you lose an opportunity. Real strength is not shouting louder than others. Real strength is staying in control of yourself when others are trying to make you lose your center. The fourth rule is the rule of narrative. The one who controls the narrative influences minds. Power is not only economic, military, or political. It is also narrative. Peoples, teams, companies, and communities mobilize around a story. A story tells them who they are, what they can become, why they must fight, why they must discipline themselves, and why they must believe in a shared future. Thomas Sankara understood this. He did not leave a mark on people's minds only because of his political decisions. He left a mark because he gave his people a narrative. A narrative of dignity, local production, sovereignty, responsibility, discipline, and African pride. He understood that a people does not wake up only because of numbers. A people wakes up when it understands that it can become the actor of its own destiny again. This rule also applies inside a company. A manager who cannot explain the mission of his team loses collective energy. An entrepreneur who cannot tell the value of his project loses the market's attention. A nation that does not tell its own story ends up living inside the story told by others. The one who names reality influences the way others understand it. That is why you must learn to speak with clarity, to transmit a vision, to give meaning, and to protect your narrative from those who want to distort it. The fifth rule concerns alliances. Alliances are often more important than speeches. A leader can be brilliant, courageous, and visionary. But if he is completely isolated, he remains fragile. Alliances provide strength, information, protection, legitimacy, and the ability to act. However, not all alliances are good. A bad alliance can become a prison. A toxic alliance can force you to betray your vision, lose your autonomy, or serve interests that are not yours. Abraham Lincoln had to lead in a moment of extreme division. He did not only speak about unity. He had to deal with opposing forces, build political alliances, hold a fractured nation together, keep a moral direction, and move forward despite tensions. His example shows that power is not only the ability to convince those who already agree with you. It is also the ability to manage contradictions, gather people without losing yourself, and maintain direction when everything pushes toward rupture. In your own life too, choose your alliances intelligently. Do not choose only the people who flatter you. Do not choose only those who are emotionally close to you. Choose those who respect your mission, understand your vision, can tell you the truth, do not sell you for a quick interest, and do not turn your trust into a weakness. The sixth rule is crucial. Lasting power is built through systems. Many people love big speeches, strong emotions, and spectacular moments. But what lasts is not built only on charisma. What lasts is built on systems, institutions, methods, routines, processes, efficient administration, collective discipline, solid education, the capacity for continuity. Kuan in Singapore understood this. He did not transform a small vulnerable territory into an economic power simply with slogans. He built a long-term vision, a demanding administration, a culture of competence, national discipline, and institutions capable of supporting growth. His lesson is very clear. Slogans can awaken emotions, but only systems build power. This rule also applies to an individual. You can be motivated today and exhausted tomorrow. You can have a great vision, but without a system, it will remain fragile. Your system is your routine, your method, your schedule, your way of learning, your way of working, your way of protecting your energy. The person who depends only on motivation is unstable. The person who builds systems becomes much harder to stop. The seventh rule is the psychological heart of this video. Never confuse kindness with naivety. You can be good without being weak. You can be fair without being naive. You can be human without allowing others to exploit your time, your energy, your loyalty, or your work. The dark rules of power are not here to turn you into a predator. They are here to teach you how to recognize predators, opportunists, false allies, and hidden games. Do not give your entire plan to everyone. Do not confuse a smile with loyalty. Do not confuse a promise with commitment. Do not confuse closeness with trust. Do not confuse silence with weakness. Some people do not come to you to build with you. They come to take your energy, use your network, copy your ideas, weaken your confidence, or take advantage of your lack of boundaries. Kindness without lucidity becomes an open door to exploitation. But be careful. This does not mean you should become cold, closed, or suspicious of everyone. It means you must become responsible for your energy. A leader must be able to love, collaborate, listen, sometimes forgive, but also set boundaries. The person who sets no boundaries invites others to decide in his place. In the end, power is not bad in itself. Everything depends on what we do with it. Power without conscience becomes domination. Power without vision becomes vanity. Power without responsibility becomes dangerous. But power with vision, discipline, and ethics becomes leadership. A true leader does not only seek to control others. He seeks to protect what matters, build what lasts, serve a mission, and prevent the most naive from being crushed by the most calculating. Before you leave, remember this: power is not only about strength. It is about lucidity, timing, discipline, and responsibility. So take these 5 lessons with you. First lesson: observe before you act. Many people lose power not because they are weak, but because they act too early. They speak before they understand. They react before they analyze. They enter battles without reading the terrain. Before you make a move, observe the people, the interests, the emotions, the hidden tensions, and the real balance of power. The one who understands the terrain often avoids the traps that destroy the impatient. Second lesson: protect your information. Not everyone deserves access to your plans, your weaknesses, your pain, or your next decisions. Some people listen because they care. Others listen because they want to use what they know against you. A strategic person does not reveal everything too soon. Protecting your information is not fear. It is discipline. Share what matters, at the right time, with the right people, for the right reasons. Third lesson: master your emotions. One impulsive reaction can destroy years of credibility, trust, and hard work. Anger can make you say what you should have kept silent. Fear can make you accept what you should have refused. Pride can make you fight battles that do not serve your future. Emotional control does not mean having no feelings. It means refusing to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions for your life. Fourth lesson: choose your alliances intelligently. A good alliance can protect you, strengthen you, open doors, and help you grow. A bad alliance can weaken your vision, control your decisions, drain your energy, and make you serve interests that are not yours. Do not choose people only because they flatter you or seem close to you. Choose those who respect your mission, tell you the truth, and do not turn your trust into weakness. Fifth lesson: use power to build, not to destroy. Power without conscience becomes domination. Power without vision becomes vanity. Power without responsibility becomes danger. But power guided by ethics, discipline, and a clear mission becomes leadership. The purpose of power is not to crush others. It is to protect what matters, build what lasts, serve something greater than yourself, and prevent the naive from being destroyed by the most calculating. If this video helped you see power differently, subscribe to CELFA. Here, we talk about leadership, strategy, growth mindset, personal development, and lucidity in a fast-changing world. Write in the comments. In your opinion, what is the rule of power that people ignore the most? The world does not always reward the most naive. It often rewards those who understand the invisible rules. But you can do better than simply understanding those rules. You can use them with conscience, with dignity, with discipline, and with a vision greater than yourself.